Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Just going to share a little bit of an update on some new cameras that have come into my possession in the last few days, and I'll give you a little bit of a talk on those and just reflect on where photography is at these days. It's really incredible the way things are just flying ahead with the new technology, and you think about when you look back on some of the older cameras that are not all that old and how much they've been superseded by probably your phone these days. And it's interesting that even the phones are being superseded, because this is an iPhone 11, nowhere near the best iPhone. And I'm using one of my older iPhones, which is sort of synced up to that one, iPhone 6, to actually film this on. So there's still a use for old technology, isn't there? And I think that's good. And when you look at some of these cameras, I'm going to show you some in a minute. It's a bit like, the old technology versus the new technology. Some people like online music. Some people still like CDs. Some people like vinyl LPs. Some people like cassette tapes. And I guess the difference between some of these things is that some you can actually hold in your hand and they're actually tangible things. A book you can actually read and hold it and look at it, and it's got a nice feel to it. Whereas if you're looking at it, a book online or on a little Kindle thing or whatever, that's not the same to me. It's the same when we sing the old hymns in church. We sing them on a PowerPoint these days. The words are up on a PowerPoint. But the thing is, we used to sing them out of a book. And the good thing when you're singing a hymn is, and the good thing about books is, that while you're actually singing the song, should be a hymn book here somewhere, I should get it out and demonstrate. you actually are singing along, but the thoughts are going through your head and you think, oh, that line back there was interesting, and you can just cast back to the other line, or the other verse, whereas when you're watching a PowerPoint, you can't do that. So it's good to have something that's tangible, something to hold. And we've got all this artificial intelligence stuff coming in now. But I think that's good in some ways, and other ways I think it's pretty scary. However, I'm just going to share some of these cameras, and I'm going to go online and show in fact, I might do that before I do anything else. I'm just going to go online. When I open up my iMac and I just put in the search engine on all my photos, cameras, it comes up with a lot of cameras. And I'm going to just go to that now and share a lot of the cameras that have been and gone in this place. Some are still here. Some I've sold. Where do I share the screen? Here I go. Let's have a look. So I'm up in the left-hand corner. I'll get rid of that. So there you go. You probably can see all those. See all these cameras here? Hundreds of them. Some I've sold. Some I've got up for sale at the moment. Some are old film cameras that go way back. Little kids holding them. Some of my mates holding them, old slide projectors. Look at all these ones here. Most of these I've sold on Gumtree. There's a movie camera there, and some really nice film cameras. Going back there, what else have we got down here? Some more. The old Pentax medium format. Go back to some more down here. Anyway, I'm going to stop sharing it there because you can see there's a lot of cameras come and go, and it's just amazing how they were all the in thing. They were the technology of the time at the time, and we love them, and we got good results with them. You look at some of the old photo books that people did before digital came in, and you think, well, that photography is pretty good. It's pretty hard to tell the difference sometimes when you look at photo books made by professionals, and you look at them and you think, wow, even with the old technology, we still did pretty well. And I look at some of my wedding photos now, and I still love the look of my film wedding photos. Anyway, let's go through some of these books. I'm going to start off with some of these, not books, cameras. I'm going to start off with this one right at the front here. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cameras here. And one of them's a movie camera. This one here is, there you go. It's a autofocus Canon ML 35mm camera. Now, I read the reviews on this. I'm going to do reviews of all these cameras, mainly because I can, because most of them are digital. This one I have to get some films developed and brought back. But the reviews on this one are quite mixed. And then if you look at the results of taken with this camera, they're pretty good. But there's a problem with the focusing, apparently. Some things will be in focus and some won't. And it's an interesting little, some people have commented about that strange little dial there with those strange settings on the back there. But it's a beautiful camera to hold. And the lens is a 40 millimeter f1.9. And that's pretty useful, isn't it? 40 millimeter. A lot of people like their little 40 millimeter short lenses on all their cameras these days. And that's a beautiful little camera. So, and it's got a lovely feel to it. Metallic, some plastic on the back. But that's, so watch this space. We'll do a review on that one later on. It's got a little flash built into it. I noticed when I opened it up, there's a bit of corrosion in the battery terminal, so I'm going to have to do some work on that. So anyway, that's that little one. That's the only film camera amongst these ones here. And then we start looking at one of these. This is a Canon PowerShot A95. And this is a nice little camera. 14 shooting modes, PowerShot, all sorts of settings. And how many pixels is it? 12 times zoom, print share, 5 megapixels. But 5 megapixels is not bad. And not only that, you've got a little flip screen that flips out like that. You could have used this as a vlogging camera. You probably still could. And it does movies and the works, really. Nice little camera. It feels beautiful. And I don't know whether I've got a battery in this one or not. No, let's have a look and see. No, it takes AA batteries. I haven't put any in there. But that's a beautiful little camera and nice and compact, nice feel to it. It's probably plastic, but it feels metallic. It's got a Canon zoom lens, 3 times zoom lens, and it's f2.8 to f4.9. So that's pretty good in low light as well. So that's a nice little one, little lens cap on the front there, and built-in flash, 5 megapixels, everything you could want. It's got auto setting, P, T, A, M, C, movie, multi-shot scenes, different settings for different types of scenes. I've dropped that down there. I'll get that afterwards. Anyway, so that's that one. So we move on a little bit more upmarket now. This one over here, that was a Canon, wasn't it, I think? This one is quite a good one. And I don't know whether this has got power in it or not. Turn it on? Probably not. No, there's no battery in that one yet. I must find a battery for that one too. But this is a Canon, what do they call it? It's a PowerShot G15. PowerShot G15. Doesn't have a flip screen. It's got a nice nice screen on the back. A lot of these cameras belong to a friend of mine, John, who I've spoken about, who died a few years ago. I've spoken about on this channel. And these are all in pretty much mint condition. These cameras have still got the plastic on the back there, hadn't been taken off. And that's a beautiful little camera. And this is, it's a 5 times zoom lens. It's got image stabilization. It's f1.8 to f2.8. Look at that. Lovely little camera. And that's sort of taken over. That's the next step up from the other one I showed you before. And of course, there's lots of cameras in between in all of those. Perhaps we'll just digress for a second. A movie camera. This is a Sony Handycam HD. Takes full HD auto 1080 quality movies. Got a flip out screen like that. I've got to get a battery charger for this one. It's got a battery on the back, but we're not sure where the battery charger is at the moment. But you record to a hard drive, and it's a beautiful little camera, image stabilization and whatever. The zoom on it is, what is it? Should be able to find that on here. Don't know. Super steady shot. HD recording, 40 gigabyte hard drive, up to 15 hours recording. And no, it doesn't tell me what the zoom range is. So that's a bit disappointing. However, I'll find out afterwards, and I'll be doing a review of this camera anyway, later on. There you go, have a look at it. I've got a bit of reflection coming in there, haven't I? Nice little camera. Of course, these days, your iPhone will do wonderful movies, but you can't zoom in and zoom out like that. Should be probably a good vlogging camera as well. Turn around, I could probably, so I'll experiment with that later on when I've got it going, and I'll do some YouTube videos using that as a vlogging camera and see how we go. But I love that, and I'm looking forward to using that. Before I go to the final one, this is the second to last one, a Nikon digital SLR. Now this is the Nikon D3000, and it's the hasn't got a flip out screen, but I understand it was the next step up after the D60, which I also have and I've reviewed on this channel. And this is a nice, feels nice camera, and I've tried it out a bit, and turns on, screen comes on at the back there, and it's also came with a lens, which I looked up. This is a Sigma DC 17 to 70 millimeter f2.8 f4 macro HSM zoom lens made by Sigma, and it's a beautiful, and it's got optical stabilization on it, and it's a beautiful looking lens. Maybe you can see on the top of it there. It's a really nice lens, feels nice and chunky, and very, very good build. Now, I've read the reviews on that, and I've tried it out a little bit, and there's mixed reviews. Some are saying that at some zoom levels it's great, others at the wide angle in, they say it's not, just a bit dull around the corners, a bit soft around the corners. However, they're still fetching that particular zoom, and this camera and that zoom are in mint condition, hardly been used, and that zoom is still asking big money for it second hand on the used camera market. And I just wonder why. I mean, originally it was quite pricey lens as well, and it's a lens you have when you don't want to just have the ordinary 18 to 55 kit lens. This was the next step up for people to buy to use with that camera. So it's a beautiful lens, looks good, and I'm looking forward to trying that out. Some of these cameras probably are going to go on the market, and we'll see how we go. But the final one I'm going to share with you is this little one here. This is a Sony Cybershot, and that is a beautiful little camera. It says on here, best product 2010 to 2011, won some awards, full HD movie, outstanding low light performance. It's got a 10 times optical zoom lens, f3.5 to 5.5. It's got GPS, movie mode, the whole works. I'll turn it on. Nice little sound there. I can see what's happening up there. I can take a photo of me taking a photo using the camera. This has got all sorts of settings. It'll recognize autofocus, it'll recognize children, it'll recognize adults, it'll tell when you've got a smile or not. I think it even does when your eyes are shut or something like that. All sorts of amazing automatic settings, and quite a unique little camera. Nice little controls on the back, and it feels beautiful in the hand, very small. Of course, these days, you know, you think, wow, and you'd love to hang on to this. I'd like to keep it and hang on to it too. However, just going to take a photo there. World's greatest grandpa. There you are. I'm not actually. I probably bought that for myself just to try and kid myself that I was the world's greatest grandpa. But I just took a photo of that. See if I can show that on the screen here to you. I've got to find out where you play it back now. There we go. Accessing. There you go. Can you see that there? It's not very good, is it, in the light? But there you are, the world's greatest grandpa cup that I just took a photo of using that little camera. But that is a beautiful little precision camera and very pocketable, and you can whack that in your pocket. Got every setting under the sun you could think on it. Very easy to navigate menu and all that sort of jazz. So I'm looking forward to playing around with that a bit longer, but your phone will do more than what that does in many ways. Although, to me, it's what I was talking about earlier, to have a tangible little real camera like that. Trouble is that there's no viewfinder. You've got to look at the screen on the back, and I noticed that in the broad daylight out there, it's a bit hard in bright sunlight to see the screen. This has still got the plastic on the back, hasn't been taken off. It's virtually in mint condition. And these were quite expensive when it was bought, over about $700, I think, when it was bought new, Australian. So there you go. There's a little bit of a wrap up on some of the cameras that are around that you might be seeing some reviews on a bit further, and one or two of them I might be selling. And I'll be dividing the proceeds with my friend who gave them to me. So that'll be interesting to see how we go there. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about cameras and where they're going and all that sort of jazz. I had someone contact me about joining a camera club the other day, and I looked up what the camera clubs do and all that sort of stuff, and I looked at the website of this camera club, and they have these competitions, and I looked at all the photos that have been posted on their website, and I thought, I don't want to get into that sort of stuff, because to me, a lot of the photographers these days, all they're trying to do is outdo each other with their digital manipulation. To me, the pleasure in photography is taking a photo. When you see something, you take a photo of it. You've got your kids there, your pets there, some wildlife, some nice scenery, and without overthinking it, without thinking this is going to be the best photo ever. One of my favorite mottos is any photo taken is better than one not taken, and any camera used is better than no camera. So there's some limitations on that, but they're my two favorite mottos. So I don't ever kid myself that I'm the world's greatest photographer, but I really enjoy it, and I'm sure you do too. And it's great. Some of the things look great that people do all the digital processing with, but they don't look real. There's highlights in every shadow, and they jump out at you, and they look fantastic, but they don't look like a photograph to me. Anyway, that's just my final little bit of a rant as we go. So, to all you world's greatest grandpas and grandmas out there, all the best. And it's going to be, well, a couple of days away from the weekend. So enjoy your weekend or whatever you're doing today. Thanks for watching. Like if you like, subscribe if you wish, and I'll see you next time. I better have a sip after all that. Nothing like a good cup of tea. See you later. Now, how do I turn this off? Here we go.